Good morning, everyone. Am I audible? Shruti, Rashmi, Komal, Nikita, Rashmita, Nisha, Yashika. Good morning, Abhishek. Wankede, good morning and welcome to the class. Do let me know if I am audible, if I am audible or not. Fine. So let me just show you the. Is this slide visible? Fine. So MCQ, labor market, the last unit. Let's start the question. So the first question is, which of the following statements are true about the characteristic of labor? Read it and answer. Labor is highly perishable, cannot be stored. Labor can be separated from the laborer and can be used independently. Labor is less mobile compared to capital. Laborers generally have strong bargaining power. The supply of labor is inelastic and cannot be rapidly changed. Right. So the option is option number 1. Give me a moment, just a second. Fine. So answer is option number 1. Highly perishable. Yes, it is highly perishable. You cannot store it. Can be separated. No, it cannot be separated. It is less mobile compared to capital. Yes. Laborers generally have strong bargaining power. Laborer is less. Yes, this is less. This is correct. Have strong bargaining power. No. The supply of the labor is inelastic and cannot be rapidly changed. Yes, it is inelastic. That's why it cannot be changed. So 1, 3 and 5. 1, 3 and 5 are your correct. Others are wrong. Moving to the next question. Which of the following statement is true regarding the Adam Smith invisible hand theorem as introduced in An Inquiry into Nature, Causes of Wealth of Nations? Read it and answer. So Adam Smith has given invisible hand theorem. As per the invisible hand theorem, or what Adam Smith have told about the labor market? Fine. So what would be the answer? The government should actively intervene in the economy. No, it should not, because according to Adam Smith, there is something called as invisible hand, which is regulating factor. The economy function well when individuals pursue their self-interest in the free market. Yes, this is actually correct. Invisible hand suggests that free trade leads to market inefficiency. Not, it leads to the efficiency. Right? So the answer is option B. Next question. Production of the good. So which of the following statements are true about Say's law? Production of the good creates its own demand. Aggregate production increasingly creates an equal amount of aggregate demand. The law emphasizes that the demand is the source of production. Read it and answer. Hmm. 1 and 3. Okay. Wankhede answered A, 1 and 2. Nisha answered A. Fine. Those who have answered A is correct. Law emphasizes demand is source of production. Nahi. Production is a source of demand. As an economy says that economy is when I create a product, when I bring a product in the market, automatically it will create a demand. डिमांड सेज ने क्या कहा कि जो प्रोडक्ट है वो अपनी अपनी खुद की डिमांड आप प्रोड्यूस करो, मार्केट में लाओ, वो अपना डिमांड खुद क्रिएट करेगा. सी दिस टू आर एक्चुअली कॉन्ट्ररी स्टेटमेंट. देन हाउ दिस कैन बी द आंसर? प्रोडक्शन ऑफ द गुड्स क्रिएट इट्स ओन डिमांड. करेक्ट. If you produce the good, it create the demand. Law emphasizes demand is the source of production. Both these statements are contrary, right? Moving to the which of the following is most common reason for the voluntary migration of the labor? Political factor, economic factor, socio-cultural factor. Read it and answer. Yes. When we talk about voluntarily migrating, when I voluntarily want to migrate to the different place, it's because of my economic, it means monetary. Good employment facilities, good employment opportunities, my higher salary requirement, higher wages requirement, that is my economic factor. Moving to the next question. Which of the following statements are true according here? The passage means your labor market migration. Okay. So basically I wanted to give you the passage here, then I thought I won't be giving you the passage. Okay. So statement 1, lower agriculture income is a major push factor for migration, compelling the individual to seek better economic opportunities elsewhere. Pull factor in migration include opportunities for the better employment, higher wages, improved amenities of life in the destination area. Political conflict within the families are the significant socio-culture factor contributing to the migration. Read it and answer. I don't know, Pia, why you're not receiving the notification. You must have muted the notification. Others, I believe everyone else is receiving the notification. Only 1 and 2 statements are true. Those who have answered A, okay. 1 and 2, okay. Waiting for the answers. Others? Okay. Fine. So correct answer is pull and push factors are correct. Political conflict in the families. No, not political. Family conflicts. They are not the political conflict. They are the family conflict. Political conflicts is political reason. Right? So option only 1 and 2 are correct. 3 is not correct. Next. Which of the following are economic factor causing migration? Read it and answer, and highly expected question for your exam. Fine. So we know economic factors. What would be the answer? 1. Low agriculture income. If I am having low income, I will be migrating to other place. Unemployment in rural areas, I would be migrating to the employment opportunity. Low man land ratio. So now this is my land, and here the ratio of the land on this land, let's say this is a land which can occupy 1,000, and the people here are only 800 or only 700. This is low man. So when it is low man, why would I migrate to the place where the land is having the capacity of 1,000 and 2,000 people are working here? So why would I go somewhere where this ratio high land, right? So now this is like low man land ratio. Political conflicts within the families? No. This is political reason. Opportunity for better employment in the urban areas. Moving to the next question. What are the factor? What factor does not directly influence labor supply? Which of the factor not directly influence labor supply? Preference, skills and opportunities, occupational and geographical mobilities, non-monetary factor, demand for the product and service. Labor supply को directly influence नहीं करता. How? ये तो influence करता है. So like if there is an opportunity available, I have the qualified skills, my supply would be influenced. Mobility, if I am okay, I can mobile to that location, it would be influencing. Non-monetary factors like amenities, facilities, welfare services provided. Give me a second. Fine, am I audible? Factors which direct demand for the product and the services. See, my labor supply does not get affected by the demand and supply of the goods. It is indirect. Okay? The demand for the labor. Now understand, demand for the labor is called as derived demand because it depends upon demand for the product, demand of products. So that is a relationship of product or demand of labor. Here it's asking about your labor supply. So my labor, whether I would be making available or not, it depends upon non-monetary factor like how much leisure I would be able to enjoy, how much amenities, how many perks, geographical and occupational mobility. So if my job status is something very stationary, something which is providing me security, automatically I would be looking for that job, I would be supplying the labor, right? My preferences for the job, my skills requirement, my opportunities for the growth. Did you understand everyone? सबने सी मार्क किया था. लेबर सप्लाई की बात हो रही है ना. चलो, मूविंग टू द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. Which of the following statement regarding the determinant of labor demand are true? No, Ashirwad, not at all important. If the demand for the production is more, the supply of labor would be more is not necessary. So we have lot much of requirement. If let's say उसमें क्या होगा, there would be bargaining power from the labor side. Labor will bargain. Labor will ask for more opportunities, more facilities. ठीक है? और now, which of the following statement regarding the determinants of the labor demand are true? Demand for product directly influences the labor demand. So this is now this is for the demand, and decrease in firms profitability leads to decrease in labor demand. Higher labor productivity results in higher demand for the labor. A decrease in number of qualified supplier leads to increase in the labor demand. Okay. Fine. A demand for the product directly influences labor demand. True. A decrease in firm's profitability leads to the decrease in the labor demand. Okay, this is marked wrong actually. This is also true. Higher labor productivity results in higher demand. True. A decrease in the number of qualified supplier leads to the increase in labor demand. So now if I had 10 people, they have reduced to qualified to 8. Okay. Now will it demand increase or decrease? D का क्या होगा? 4 तो इनकरेक्ट है. हाँ, सी क्या होगा ना, यहाँ पे क्या होगा कि डिक्रीज है. अगर मेरी 8 है, 10 मेरे पास क्वालिफाइड लेबर थे, अब केवल 8 क्वालिफाइड लेबर बचे हुए, तो इनकी डिमांड हाई होगी या लो होगी? 2, 3, 4 कंपनी है, पहले 10 को पोच कर रही थी, अब 8 को पोच कर रही है. अब बताओ. अंडरस्टैंड? डिक्रीज कैसे होगा? हाई, राइट? सो ऑल दी स्टेटमेंट एक्चुअली हियर आर करेक्ट. ठीक है, द आंसर इज मार्क्ड रॉन्ग हियर. 1, 2, 3, 4 सारे ही करेक्ट है यहाँ पे. ठीक है, 1, 2, 3, 4 ऑल आर करेक्ट. नेक्स्ट, what factor determine the supply of labor for the entire economy? So when we talk about in the economy, within the economy, what factors? Okay, so when we talk about entire economy, within the economy, what all factors come? Within the economy, economical, social, and political factor. Please go through the PDF again. Those who have marked wrong, the answer for this is economic, social, and political. Okay? Next. A supply of a labor for an industry is subject to the law of supply, where low wages result in small supply of labor, high wages result in large supply of labor. Reason: in long run, the supply of labor for any industry tends to be somewhat elastic. Read it and answer. Fine. So when we talk about law of supply, it's correct given here. As the wages low wages are there, the supply would be less. If high wages are there, supply would be high. And it's true that in long run, why long run? See, this is the answer here is your in the individual supply curve. So now both these statements are about the supply of labor. This represents elasticity. This represents elasticity. Understood? Both these statements are true and it is the correct. Right? How come, Ajit? It is elastic. In long run, within the industry, the labor supply is elastic. Next. Which of the following statements are true about relationship between the wage rate and employment? Are the question tough, moderate, or easy? How are you? You need to study the labor law nicely. See, only 13 people are live. I don't know why. Labor market is highly important from your exam point of view. Understand? Pia will explain. Let's do this question first. Okay. So the question is asking you wage rate. The decrease in wage rate leads to the increasing employment. So, from the perspective of the employer, if the wage rate increases, obviously the demand for the labor decreases. Increase in price of output leads to decrease price of output, यानी प्रोडक्ट. अगर प्रोडक्ट की प्राइसेस इंक्रीज हो रही है, if the product prices are increasing, products are in demand, obviously employment will increase. This is not correct. A increase in labor productivity given the market price of product leads to the increase in employment. True. These two statements are contrary, right? So option statement 1 and 3. Students, are you able to understand these statements? All these statements, second is incorrect, no? Yes, second is incorrect. So 1 and 3, only 1 and 3 statement is 1 and 3 statement is correct. Fine. Do the next question. I will be back in 2 minutes. Rashmi, how employment is created? How employment is created? employment is provided by the employer. So wage rate, employment is provided. So now here we are not talking about labor supply. Acha, you do this, then I will explain all the things. Which of the following statement accurately describe the perfect market? I believe this is easiest. The equilibrium wage rate in the market, perfect market, is determined by the meeting point of the industry supply, right? Clear? So the point where the labor curve, supply curve, and the demand curve, they intersect each other, that is your equilibrium. Equilibrium is nothing but the wages at which laborers are ready to work and employer is ready to pay. And this condition where equilibrium occur, where demand and supply are same, is called as the perfect market. Is this clear to everyone? Now, let me make you understand the previous question. See, the question here is asking you about the relationship between. So, first thing that you need to understand is wage rate and employment. Who is going to give the employment? Employer. So, automatically, the relationship here is about demand, because employer is going to demand the labor, then only he will be providing the employment. So, the relationship between the wage rate and demand. So, wage rate is nothing but the cost to the company. It is the company's cost. So, if the company's wage rate increases, for the company, if the cost increases, wage rate increases. So earlier 1,000 rupees was to be paid, now 2,000 is to be paid. So when these rates are increasing, automatically the employer will be employing lesser number of the people. So when they are employing lesser number of the people, employment is what is decreasing. Productivity is increasing. One labor was able to produce 10 products in 8 hours. Now he has increased his productivity. In 8 hours he is able to do 12 products. So for the given, earlier it was 10 rupees a product, 100 rupees was the earning. Here 10 rupees a product, 120 is the earning. Obviously he will, as an employer, he will employ more people, because the labor's employment productivity is increasing. Student, is this clear? Correct. Very important to understand that in labor market, whether the employer's perspective is asked or the employee's perspective is asked. So now whenever it would be a demand, whenever it would be a demand would be always from the employer perspective, and when it would be a supply would be always from the labor perspective. Okay, moving to the next question. In a perfectly competitive labor market where the wage rate is determined in the industry, each firm is a wage taker. This implies that Fine. The question is asking you the perfectly competitive market wage rate is determined in the industry where each firm is wage taker, means actual equilibrium. So actual equilibrium wage will be set in the market and supply of labor to the individual firm is perfectly elastic. Option D, no. This is not correct. This is not correct. The question is asking you each firm is a wage taker. ठीक है, perfectly market के अंदर में, ठीक है, perfectly market के अंदर में जब हमारे जो लेबर्स होते हैं उनको उसी रेट्स पे they are wage taker, they cannot influence. Firm can independently, no. It is individually decided, no. Supply of the labor to the individual firm is perfectly inelastic, yes, correct. ठीक है, तो आंसर आपका डी ही आएगा. एक्चुअल इक्विलिब्रियम विल बी सेट इन द मार्केट एंड सप्लाई ऑफ लेबर टू द इंडिविजुअल फर्म इज परफेक्टली, वेरी गुड, यस, करेक्ट करेक्ट. ऑप्शन इज डी इज करेक्ट. ठीक है, आई गॉट कंफ्यूज, आई थॉट दिस इज व्हाट टू बी आंसर्ड. नो, दिस इज द करेक्ट आंसर. ठीक है, जो भी लेबर मार्केट का जो इक्विलिब्रियम होता है वो मार्केट में ही सेट हो जाता है और जो भी सप्लाई ऑफ लेबर होगी इंडिविजुअल फर्म के लिए वो परफेक्टली इलास्टिक. परफेक्टली इलास्टिक का मतलब होगा कि अगर थोड़ा सा भी इंक्रीज और वेज रेट का इंक्रीज या डिक्रीज हो रहा है तो फ्लक्चुएशन होगा लेबर सप्लाई में. ठीक है, मूविंग टू द नेक्स्ट. Which of the following are not the characteristic of imperfect market? So when we talk about imperfect market is what? Not the question is asking you not the characteristic. Many seller offering differentiated, this is the characteristic. Seller have ability to influence, yes. Products are offered by sellers are identical, no. They are differentiated product, heterogeneous product, that is the characteristic. So this is not the characteristic of imperfect market. High barriers, no. There are no barriers. Sellers have no control, they have the control. Okay, so now option marked here are offers. This is not the characteristic, this is not the character. Options are wrong here, 3 and 5. Very good. 1 KD. Okay. So let me just correct the options here so that it won't create a confusion. Okay. So now it is 3 and 5. Many sellers offering differentiated goods. Yes. Fourth, high barriers. No. In imperfect market, there is no barrier. Acha, not a character. So sorry. Hold on. I got confused here. Not a characteristic. So high barrier to the entry. This is not the characteristics. Sellers have no control over the price. This is not the characteristic. products offered by sellers are identical, not the characteristic. Yes, नॉट पूछा है ना क्वेश्चन में, नॉट पूछा है, ये कैरेक्टरिस्टिक है, ये तीन नहीं है, 3, 4 एंड 5 करेक्ट, पहले वाला ही सही था, तो नॉट पूछा है। यस ठीक है, नॉट पूछा है यहाँ पे। हाँ, दोनों में भी वानखेड़े, दोनों में भी फ्री एंट्री और एग्जिट होता है, दोनों में फ्री एंट्री। सी, परफेक्ट मार्केट इम्परफेक्ट मार्केट में एक ही फर्क होता है कि परफेक्ट मार्केट में होमोजेनियस प्रोडक्ट होते हैं और इम्परफेक्ट मार्केट में हेट्रोजेनियस प्रोडक्ट होते हैं। परफेक्ट मार्केट के अंदर में वेज रेट फिक्स्ड होते हैं, इन्फ्लुएंस नहीं कर सकता सेलर, लेकिन इम्परफेक्ट मार्केट में इन्फ्लुएंस कर सकते हैं। Which of the following are the characteristic of monopoly market? See, I am also getting confused. तो आपको क्वेश्चन बहुत अच्छे से पढ़ना है, you have to read the questions properly because labor market statements are very very confusing. You एक भी ध्यान इधर से उधर हुआ, you will get confused. ठीक है, so let's do it quickly. Very many questions are still pending. Monopoly. Single cell offering a unique single seller, yes. Absence of close substitute, yes. High barriers to the entry, no. Intense competition among the sellers, no. There is no competition. There is no competition. Monopoly, high barriers for new firms, no. Now, absence of close substitute. Close substitute. 1 and 2 are the characteristics. This 1 and 2 are characteristic. 3 and 4. Now understand. Monopoly is a form of imperfect market where government creates restrictions on monopoly competition. It creates a restriction. It does not create a restriction on entry. Nisha, understand the terms? गवर्नमेंट्स अगर वहां पे मोनोपोली में ना क्या होता है, रेस्ट्रिक्शन इन द कंपटीशन क्रिएट होता है, वहां पे एंट्री में रेस्ट्रिक्शंस नहीं होते हैं। ठीक है, कहीं पे स्टेटमेंट्स हाई बैरियर्स टू द एंट्री, हाई बैरियर्स टू द कंपटीशन, तो हम लोग, आई वाज आल्सो कंफ्यूज, बट व्हेन आई वेंट टू 3 कंटेंट आई अंडरस्टूड कि ये एक तरीके का इम्परफेक्ट मार्केट होता है। मैं मोनोपोली लाइक अनअकैडमी वाज एंजॉयिंग मोनोपोली, इट डजंट मीन एनीवन, any other person in the market cannot start something like an academy. They are free to enter in that market, but the characteristics of the academy, the you can say unique USP of an academy restricts the competition. Its non-substitutability, its highly unique product will reduce the competition. Is that clear? Understood? There is no barrier. ठीक है? अभी जहां पे भी हाई बैरियर लिखा है उसको आप क्रॉस करेंगे. नोट्स में भी अगर लिखा है हाई बैरियर्स नहीं होते हैं. ठीक है? एनीवन हु कैन एंटर. ठीक है? मूविंग टू द नेक्स्ट. What is the key difference between monopoly and perfect competitive industry? Read it and answer. Correct. So the answer for this is monopoly faces a downward sloping demand curve, perfectly competitive horizontal. Yes. Answer is B. In a monopsony market, single buyer has a significant control over the labor market, enabling them to set the lower wage level. Reason: monopsonies commonly experience low price from the wholesaler and have an advantage in the paid wages. So now you have to answer. Fine. So the answer for this is monopsony market is single buyer has a significant control over labor market, enabling them to set lower wage level. Yes, they have the control. They set the lower wages also or higher wages as well. See, monopsony may they can reduce the wages also. They can have the higher wages also. Monopsony company commonly experience low prices from the wholesaler too and have an advantage in paid wages. Okay, now hold on. Monopsony single buyer has a significant control over labor market, enabling them to set the lower wage levels. Yes, there can be lower wages as well. अगर किसी के पास में abundant labor supply है, somewhere this statement is not correct for monopsony. Monopsony, this statement is not correct. This statement is not correct. Answer: assertion is false, reason is true. Monopsony में they always have to pay higher wages. So the correct answer is, let me correct this here. ठीक है? So the answer for this is because in monopsony, the employer have टू वेज, वेज ऑलवेज सेट अ हाई वेजेस, उनको हमेशा हाई वेज सेट करते, वो सेट करते हैं क्योंकि वो सिंगल बायर होते हैं, ठीक है. सो द आंसर इज ऑप्शन नंबर डी, assertion is not correct, false, and reason is true. Next, how is employment rate calculated? Read it and answer. Let's finish up this quickly. How is employment rate calculated? हाँ, मोनोप्सनी, बायर, यशिका, मोनोपली में. नहीं आशीर्वाद, असर्शन रॉन्ग है ना. हाई वेजेस सेट करेगा ना, वो लो वेजेस सेट नहीं करेगा. हियर द आंसर फॉर दिस इज ऑप्शन नंबर बी. ठीक है, बी आंसर है. Monopsony market, single buyer has a significant control over labor market, enabling them to set lower wage. No. See, they control the market, लेकिन वो high wage देते हैं ना. Reason is correct statement जो है ना, यहाँ पे जो wholesalers होते हैं उसके comparatively भी. Okay, hold on. I will recheck this question actually. यहाँ पे कुछ clarity कम है. Okay, we are disregarding this question. I will recheck it. ठीक है. हाँ, यहाँ पे लो प्राइजेस नहीं, ये करेक्ट है. लो प्राइजेस का मतलब यहाँ पे है प्रोडक्ट की प्राइजेस. ठीक है, होलसेलर्स के कंपैरिजन में लो प्राइजेस होते हैं उनके. और बट आई विल रीचेक दिस, थोड़ा सा स्टेटमेंट का यहाँ पे सही फॉर्मेशन नहीं हुआ है. ठीक है, दिस क्वेश्चन इज नॉट फ्रेम्ड करेक्टली. नेक्स्ट, रीड इट एंड आंसर. Which of the following statement about the labor force participation rate are true? Read it and answer. Okay, so the answer is very simple here. 2 is not correct because those who are studying or homemaker, they are not the part of labor force. Factors of production can be substitutes for one another, allowing the total output to vary, changing the quantity of one or more few inputs while holding other inputs constant. Substitutes. The substitutability of the factor of production give rise to the law of variable proportion. Yes, read it and answer. Fine. So the answer has to be A here. Reason, law of variable proportion itself says that when the two products are substituted with each other, one can be substituted keeping other things constant. Right? So the answer is option number A. Moving to the next. According to law of diminishing return, what happens to the marginal product as more units of variable input are added to the fixed? What will happen as per the law of diminishing return? What would happen to the marginal product as more units of variable keeps on adding? Okay, so when law of diminishing return says that whenever there is something varying, variable, it keeps on adding and the inputs are kept fixed, the marginal product will decrease. It will decrease because there is always a saturation, there is always a maximum point. Next question. In economics, what does the law of variable proportion state? Read it and answer. Fine. So, the marginal productivity or the product of an input initially increases, then decreases as more input is added to the fixed quantity. That is what your law of diminishing returns is. Which of the following statements are true regarding the relationship between total product, marginal product? Read it and answer. Okay. When the total product increases at an increasing rate, marginal product will increase. True. It's true. When total product increases at diminishing, marginal product remains constant. No, it starts declining. And when total product reaches maximum, marginal product becomes zero. So your statement 1 and 3 are true, 2 is not true. Next. At what point is marginal product equal to the average product according to the law of diminishing returns? At what time marginal product equals to the average product? क्या होता है? वो दोनों भी क्या होते हैं? When marginal product is maximum, when average product is maximum, so we know this is this way, right? So now this is this way. So this is your average product, this is your marginal product. This will even go and become a negative. This is asking you, what is this? So now understand. Here, both of them are equal. It is equal. When they are equal, it means both of them are maximum. Simple relationship. Equal है मतलब क्या? Both are maximum ना? ऐसे नहीं होगा ना? If 20 is your AP and marginal product is equal to MP, तो इसकी वैल्यू भी तो 20 होगी ना? Logic. When marginal product and average product are at their maximum, they are equal. ठीक है? Please keep this in mind. Moving to the next. If the marginal physical product of labor increases, marginal revenue product of labor will also increase, assuming the price of product remains in the constant. I know it was not correct perfectly, Ajit, but I tried to make you understand that. Okay. What is this statement? If the marginal physical product of labor increases, I have started producing more product. Revenue product of labor will increase, assuming the price of the product remains constant. Earlier, I was giving 10 products. Now I have started 12 product, 10 rupees per product. Here also 10 rupees per product. What about the revenue? Will it increase or decrease? Marginal physical product means in the given point of the time in 8 hours, if I'm making 10, this is my output, and marginal again for the next extra 1 hour. So now anything extra being added, I have started increasing, giving instead of 10 in 8 hours, my marginal physical product have increased to 12. So revenue generated will also increase. The price is 10 rupees constant. So the answer is, the statement is correct. Highly expected question for your exam. Next. A decrease in price of product will lower the marginal revenue product of the labor and therefore decrease the demand for labor. The product of the price is decreasing. It will reduce the revenue, marginal revenue. Will it lead to the decrease in demand for the labor? The statement is wrong. The statement is correct. Yes. Here also the statement is correct. Next. After reaching a point of optimum production, adding more units to the variable factor will lead to decrease in total product and result in negative return. Let me see how many questions are pending. We have crossed 1 hour. So now there are many questions. Let's do this quickly. Here again, the statement is correct. Again, the statement is correct. Next question. What, which is not the characteristic of stages of diminishing return? Marginal product start declining, total product increase at decreasing rate, marginal product becomes negative, average product increase at the constant rate, which is not the characteristic of law of diminishing returns. Law of diminishing returns says that your, this will increase, will reach at a point and will start decreasing. Now here, total product, marginal product, average product, everything you have to. So now this is, if this is the total product, somewhere here it's average product, then here it's marginal product, something like this. I'm not able to draw it correctly, right? Yes. So average product does not increase at constant. It is not possible. No. Option is D. It's not possible. What does natural rate of unemployment represent? What is natural rate of unemployment? Yes. So the answer is the lowest level of unemployment a healthy economy can sustain without inflation. That's natural. Where you can sustain, the economy can sustain this unemployment. Which of the following statement about the natural rate of unemployment are true? Read it and answer quickly. Okay. Natural rate of unemployment represent to which naturally yes. Natural rate of unemployment determined by difference between the rate. No, this is not correct. Sum of structural and fictional. Sum of structural and fictional. Give me a second. Give me a second. Fine. So the answer is only three. 1 and 3 are correct. Which of the following statement about the frictional unemployment are true? So when we talk about frictional is difference between my last job and my current job. So that is this. It is result of involuntary. No, it's voluntary. Frictional unemployment is typically long-lived. No, short-lived. Frictional unemployment is caused by factor. Yes, correct. This is true. Searching for the new job. This is also true. Next question. In which type of unemployment does the person contribution to the output is less than what they can produce by working normal per day? Fine. So it is disguised unemployment. Next. Which of the following statements about seasonal unemployment is true? It occurred due to technological advancement. It is a part of natural unemployment rate. It is typically long term and pervasive. It is caused by fluctuations in the aggregate demand. Okay. Now, yes, read it and answer. डी, बी एंड डी, हाँ डी भी हो सकता है, ठीक है, लेकिन थोड़ा सा ना अगर हम मोस्ट एक्यूरेट की बात करेंगे, seasonal unemployment is not actually the direct reason of aggregate demand. The direct reason is season. ठीक है, एक को सिलेक्ट करने की बात आएगी तो हम बी को सिलेक्ट करेंगे. अगर यहाँ पे ऑप्शंस होते ए बी सी डी, ओनली बी, ओनली डी, बी एंड डी एंड योर सी एंड डी, तो मैं शायद बी और डी को सिलेक्ट करती. ठीक है, बिकॉज सीजन्स के फ्लक्चुएट होने से सीजन चेंज होता है ना, सीजन चेंज होगा इसलिए सीजनल है. सीजन चेंज होता है उससे क्या होता है, डिमांड फ्लक्चुएट होती है. तो पहला रीजन है हमारा सीजन. तो ऐसे क्वेश्चन में ये सीजन ऑटोमेटिकली नेचुरल अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट का रीजन, अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट का पार्ट होता है. तो जब हम सीजन को नेचुरल अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट रेट का हिस्सा बताएंगे तो वो डिमांड, एग्रीगेट डिमांड की बात नहीं करेगा. समझिए, अगर मैं सीजन को, सीजन अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट को नेचुरल अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट रेट की बात करूंगी तो वहां पे वो इकोनॉमी, एग्रीगेट डिमांड की बात नहीं करेगा. तो यहाँ पे इसलिए हमारा बी इज मोस्ट अप्रोप्रिएट. डी वाला भी करेक्ट है अगर दो ऑप्शन सिलेक्ट करने के लिए आ सकता है. हाउ इज अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट स्टेटस डिटरमाइंड इन वीकली स्टेटस अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट? Question is asking you, how is employment status determined in a weekly status? Weekly, week. और इधर पूछा है एम्प्लॉयमेंट, अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट नहीं पूछा है. वीकली स्टेटस, एम्प्लॉयमेंट. ठीक है, क्वेश्चन को समझो. अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट में अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट नहीं पूछा है, दो चीजें होते हैं, एम्प्लॉयड, अनएम्प्लॉयड. समझ में आई बात? तो ये तो अनएम्प्लॉयड वाला लेंगे ही नहीं ना स्टूडेंट्स. ऐसे क्वेश्चंस भी आ सकते हैं. हाउ इज एम्प्लॉयमेंट स्टेटस डिराइव्ड, राइट? अगर अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट पूछते तो शायद अनेबल वाला. ऑप्शंस के बेसिस पे आप आंसर करेंगे. ठीक है, ऑप्शंस भी समझेंगे. ऑप्शंस में देखो, एम्प्लॉयड, एम्प्लॉयड, अनएम्प्लॉयड. क्वेश्चन क्या पूछ रहा है? एम्प्लॉयमेंट स्टेटस. सो द पर्सन कंसिडर्ड एम्प्लॉयड फॉर अ वीक इफ एम्प्लॉयड फॉर एटलीस्ट 1 डे ड्यूरिंग दैट वीक. ठीक है, एक वीक की बात हो रही है. डेली में क्या होता है? डेली में अगर एटलीस्ट 4 hours. ठीक है, अ पर्सन कंसिडर्ड एम्प्लॉयड फॉर अ वीक इफ एम्प्लॉयड फॉर एंटायर वीक, नो. A person is considered for a week if employed for at least 3 days, no. Questions आ सकते हैं. Moving to the next. What is the characteristic shape of the demand curve for the perfectly inelastic? Perfectly inelastic. Perfectly inelastic का curve. ये होगा, क्या होगा? Yes, googly can be there in your exam. इन इलास्टिक, परफेक्टली इलास्टिक में आपका एक्स एक्सिस आता है. ठीक है, और इन इलास्टिक में वाई एक्सिस आता है. ऐसे याद रखेंगे. ई में एक्स एक्सिस आता है और इन इलास्टिक में वाई एक्सिस आता है. ठीक है, मूविंग टू द नाउ. Which type of the demand occur when the percentage change in quantity demanded is less than the percentage change in the price? Yes, it is called as relatively inelastic when percentage change of quantity is less than the percentage of price. So it is relatively inelastic. ठीक है, so these were the questions from the labor market. Now it's your responsibility, it's your job to study hard. There would be many questions, many in the sense there would be the questions in the exam from this labor market. Okay, so you have to study hard for this topic. You cannot now skip this topic, right? वी क्यों हो सकता है परफेक्टली इनइलास्टिक डिमांड? नहीं, पिया नहीं. Rashmi, I'm not sure on that. I can take one session, but it will take time. Maybe near to your exam. ठीक है, near your exam, but not sure. ठीक है, to 18th is your exam, so maybe 15th 16th or something, because I will need a time to frame the questions for, okay, for it. So that was the session, all the units completed. So there is something which I'm working on, right? अभी तो कोई और क्लास नहीं. We'll take one doubt clearing session. Prepare yourself, prepare all the doubts. I will schedule the class. One day before, I will schedule the class for your doubt clearing session. Maybe on Friday or something. Okay. Friday 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th. Something. I will upload the PDF. Okay. Thank you so much.